Base Goku's 5M is now faster on startup. In the new patch, it's 7 frames. In the old patch, it was 9 frames startup. This might mean there could be potentially new links for Base Goku, as well as it's easier for him to use this move to frame trap. Like the rest of the cast, Base Goku can now cancel his jump special into jump heavy or jump down heavy. So he can add this in to sprinkle in a little more damage and bar build in his combos. Goku's jump down medium drop down shot has a few changes to it. There's reduced recovery and there's now a ground bounce during the camera effect. Before, this move basically gave you a slide knockdown that you could go into supers if you were quick enough to cancel. This was a pretty common combo ender for Base Goku in a lot of his optimal routes. Before we explore the new properties of his medium version, we should mention the fact that he also has a light version of this move now. In combos, it doesn't really seem to have much utility, as the opponent isn't put into any sort of slide knockdown state or particularly long ground bounce. However, if you have a very active assist at the bottom of the screen when you do this, it's potentially possible to pick up the opponent to extend combos while preserving your smash knockdown. It bears noting too that this move is still very unsafe. -11 for the light version, and the medium is also -11 as well. Now let's look at the new J2M. As you can see, there's a substantial ground bounce for the character to work with. When Goku's up front, he can basically use his ground bounce and an assist to extend his combos. However, outside of sparking, he can't special cancel, as jump down medium drop down shot is considered a special move in its own right. So there is that to consider. However, it should be noted that since his Spirit Bomb throw is now considered an OTG move, there is some potential to combo into this even outside of Spark. This basically means that if you're able to combo into this move at the end of your combos, you're going to be able to consistently go into this Spirit Bomb follow-up to add on extra damage and meter. Compare that to before, where if you were ending a combo and jump down medium, you were not able to link into this OTG Spirit Bomb. The opponent recovers before you can even get another special input out. The medium and heavy versions of Goku's command throw, back throw, now go full screen. The medium crosses the screen in 30 frames. The X is a little more terrifying at 25 frames. Compare that to before. It's about maybe half screen for the medium version, and maybe slightly farther for the EX version of the moves. At this range, both of the throws are certainly reactable options that the opponent can check with a jump. However, I think the main utility of this is so that Base Goku is going to be able to do special cancels into these moves to get his combos. Here's an example when he's in Spark. So I feel like a lot of the tech that we're going to be seeing with Base Goku and these changes to him are going to be coming from the fact that he can now special cancel his specials during sparking like the rest of the cast. It's also worth pointing out that his EX throw is faster on startup as well. At point blank range, its fastest possible speed is 18 frames to connect. This is basically unreactable on PlayStation 4 offline with its 4.5 frames of input delay. Compare that to before. It was 20 frames startup, so on the cusp of being reactable, but still pretty difficult to do. You'll appreciate being able to threaten this. However, there are some important differences because of the change in its frame data on startup, namely his ability to tick throw into it. If you immediately went into this from his mediums, the throw would connect about 4 frames later. It was still possible to throw, but it certainly gave the opponent more time to react to them and jump out because of the blocks done from the throws, delaying the ability for the throw itself to connect. Now, if you immediately cancel into this version of the throws, Goku actually completely misses. This means that you have to delay your throw attempt. And even then, here we see that the throw hits at 24 frame startup. So overall in this pressure game, I'm not actually sure if this really changes much of the timing in terms of the interactions here, because from this block stun that we're getting right here, we're seeing that from his mediums at the very least, it's the same time for the throw to hit as it was before. Off of his lights, I think the situation's a little more promising. Because now it connects at frame 20. With his +0 on block to L, it connected at frame 25. So just be mindful of that. Kaioken being a 4-frame invulnerable option for base Goku actually has some pretty terrifying implications for when the character is left on his own. He's able to basically threaten the Kaioken from full screen options, and if he has enough meter for it, it can spell an easy death for the opponent's character. As you can see, Vegeta's not too happy about this change either, but it's a reality of the game that we live in now. However, the iframes don't extend to his normal moves, so if you're trying to Kaioken and blow up the opponent without using this invincible Kamehameha, you're in for a bad time. Overall, I think base Goku is very much the same character he's been for the past several patches, for better and for worse. While some aspects of his kit are certainly stronger than before, namely again his combo routings and being able to consistently access OTG Spirit Bomb play off of any of his high damage optimal routing, there is still the issue with the character that he has stubby normals in a game where many of the characters are able to contest from full screen with their huge reaching mediums or heavies in order to box him on out, meaning that he has a harder time getting in at the range that he wants to play in. It is nice that some of his throws go full screen, but I don't think they quite have the same utility as some other characters, especially when you compare him to a move like Android 16's full screen EX command throw. That move at the very least has some projectile immunity against Ki Blast. Base Goku doesn't have any of that functionality to him. He might be a true threat in sparking, but you basically have 22 seconds to make this full comeback with a character, and if the opponent is just able to successfully dodge around and turtle and jump out of the command throws, which, again, are a little faster, particularly the EX version, of course, there's still really not much that the character has to offer in terms of death, I fear.